So we are discussing the law of chemical combinations. The law of chemical combination. In the last class we have discussed the four laws, right? Law of conservation of mass, law of definite proportion, that is also called constant proportion, law of multiple proportions, and law of reciprocal proportion. And the next one, Gay-Lussac law. So he only proposed Gay-Lussac, so accordingly we can call this name Gay-Lussac law or Gay-Lussac law of combining volume. So this is a statement for Gay-Lussac law. So when gases combine, generally gases reactants, when they combine, they will form the products, but they will combine in their simple whole number ratio. That is a Gay-Lussac law. So always gases combines in the simple whole number ratio of their volume. So this is under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. This is the Gay-Lussac law. Gases combine in the simple whole number ratio of their volumes under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. Means what? Let us take here hydrogen gas will combine with the chlorine gas. It may form HCl gas. Here, when these two reactants, both gases, they will combine. In what ratio? This is 1 mole of hydrogen and 1 mole of chlorine, they will combine. So simple whole number ratio, 1:1 ratio. And similarly, you can take other 2H2 plus O2. They can form 2H2O. Your hydrogen and oxygen, both gases, again they will combine in 2:1 ratio. That is the simple whole number ratio. That is, gases combine in the simple whole number ratio of their volumes, where temperature and pressure should be same. That is the Gay-Lussac law. Next we have Avogadro's hypothesis. This is very simple. Only law of reciprocal proportion only have to little take careful about that. The remaining is very easy now. Avogadro's law or Avogadro's hypothesis. Or we can say Avogadro law here. So what is Avogadro law here? Equal volumes of all gases and the same condition of temperature and pressures contains equal number of molecules or equal number of moles. That is Avogadro's law or Avogadro's hypothesis. So according to this statement, equal volumes of gases contains equal number of molecules or number of moles. Equal number of molecules, or we can say moles. Under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. When you keep temperature and pressure same or constant, then equal volume of all gases contains equal number of molecule irrespective of the nature of the gas, or whatever the type of the gas it is, doesn't matter. Always they are having same number of molecules only. That is Avogadro's hypothesis. Means what? Let us take example. If I take hydrogen gas in 1 liter container. If we take hydrogen gas 1 liter container, I will assume that in 1 liter container we have some 1000 hydrogen gas molecules at some temperature and pressure. At particular temperature and pressure, we assume that hydrogen gas 1 liter containing 1000 hydrogen molecules. If we take some any other X gas, if I take for example helium, here hydrogen, here helium. Again let us take helium same 1 liter and same temperature and pressure. Whatever the pressure temperature conditions in case of hydrogen, that is the same in case of helium also. Then in that case, the total number of molecules, or here helium is a gaseous atom, so they may be present again 1000 only. You can see 1000 helium atoms. Doesn't matter whether it is a hydrogen or helium. Or you can take further, if I take sulfur trioxide gas, again 1 liter, again you keep the temperature pressure constant as like previous. In that case also you can observe same 1000 sulfur trioxide molecules, and that is Avogadro's law. Okay, na? So under constant temperature and pressure conditions, equal volumes of all gases, whatever the gas it is, contains equal number of molecules. Molecules generally can give the mole or equal number of moles. Means what here? Volume is directly proportional to number of molecules. Or number of moles. This is at a constant temperature and pressure. This is Avogadro's law. That's these are some chemical combinations. Mostly first 5 we can say chemical combination. This is Avogadro hypothesis of red part. Understood this one? Next some terminology we will use here like this. STP. I hope you heard about this. STP and NTP. Standard ambient temperature and pressure conditions. First one STP. STP or NTP both are the same only. You take STP nothing but standard temperature and pressure. NTP. Or you can take normal temperature and pressure. So in case of STP or NTP, the standard or normal temperatures we can take like this. What is the standard temperature? We can take 0 degrees Celsius or 273.15. That is simply we can take 273 kelvins. This temperature is called standard temperature. And pressure. So we have two words we will use. One is the 1 atmosphere, 1 bar. So according to older definition it is a 1 atmosphere, but according to new usage we will use 1 bar or 10 power 5 pascals. That is the standard pressure. Or apart from this we will use this or 1 atmosphere according to the older convention, because where 1 bar and 1 atmosphere almost equal. So this is actually overruled 1 atmosphere. Latest we are using 1 bar only, but most of the cases in the question you can observe the calculations with respect to 1 atmosphere. Okay, here also you have to take little care whether they are taking 1 bar or 1 atmosphere. They will mention. So mention check, but you can take any one. Normal STP condition pressure ante either you can take 1 bar or 1 atmosphere until they mention. Until unless they mention, you can go with any one. Then at STP condition, the volume occupied by the gas how much, Nana? 22.4 liters. But this we will use most frequently. This is according to the older, but according to new, one more is there. That is 22.7 liters. And when we will get 22.4 liters, you know, when you take pressure is 1 atmosphere. If pressure is equals to 1 atmosphere, then there is a 22.4 liters. But if take pressure as a 1 bar, then the volume is 22.7 liters. Latest ఇచ్చే క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎలా ఇస్తారంటే దే విల్ గివ్ ద ప్రెషర్ STP condition, the pressure in terms of bar, then you have to take the volume 22.7. if both options are present, okay na, in the question both options are there, 22.4 and 22.7, then you have to check what standard pressure, is it 1 atmosphere or is it 1 bar. If the option is only 22.4, we can go directly, whether it is a bar, atmosphere, doesn't matter. If option containing only 22.7, you can go directly. If both are there, you have to check it. This value, this 22.7, yet to updated, still we are using 22.4 only. Most of the frequent, if you see, all references are older references only, they are having the calculations with respect to 22.4 liters. New latest updations and there you can identify the new calculations. There they may take 22.7 liters, the volume of gas. Okay. And the second one, SATP. Again, we will use mostly STP and NATP, NTP conditions only. SATP we will use very rarely again. SATP means standard ambient standard ambient temperature. And a pressure. Ambient condition means mostly room conditions. Room conditions we can call ambient conditions. At room temperature we can take mostly as a 25 degrees centigrade. So at ambient conditions, the temperature we can take as 25 degrees centigrade or 298 kelvins. This is the ambient temperature. Again, pressure is constant. Atmospheric pressure only, 1 atmosphere will take. And at this situation, the volume of gas. (22.4), there is STP condition. At SATP conditions, it is 24.4. 4.6 or 4.7 you can see. And this is the SATP conditions. But first two are very, very important. Either standard or normal, both are the same only. And temperature, pressure. And if it is a 1 atmosphere, and what is the volume? If it is a 1 bar, what is the volume? That you should remember. Okay, na? Next we will see atom and atomic mass. What is the atom? It is the smallest part. According to Dalton, atom nothing but which is an indivisible part. It is the smallest unit of the matter or any compound, we can say. Atom means according to Dalton, that is according to older definition. Again, atom we can divide further. It has so many fundamental particles. That part again we will discuss further. But according to Dalton, atom nothing but is a small indivisible particle. You cannot break further. Means there is a lost part. So there is no further division. Small indivisible particle. Small indivisible particle is called atom. Then how to calculate the mass of this atom? That is atomic mass. According to the spectroscopic techniques, we can calculate the atomic mass. Mostly this we can calculate with the help of the carbon 12 isotope. C12 isotope. So then the atomic mass is, it is the mass of a 1/12 part, 1/12 part of one carbon 12 atom. You take one carbon 12 atom, that is isotope of one of the carbon. Generally carbon exists in mostly three isotopic forms, carbon 12, 13, 14. In that most abundant form is carbon 12. And you take one carbon 12 atom and you divide with the 12. Then whatever the mass you will get it. That we can say as atomic mass. That simply we will represent as atomic mass unit, AMU. And this you will get it, Nana. Atomic mass unit. Next we will use another word. Atomic mass unit. Nothing but mass of one atom. Expressed in terms of atomic mass unit. AMU. Let me write like this. Atomic mass unit, AMU. This kind of unit we can say it is the mass of one atom. In generally, mass of one atom is, or 1 AMU is equals to 1 atomic mass unit. This you can take as 1.6 into approximately 10 power minus 24 grams. This you will get just when you take the one carbon atom mass that you divide with 12. You will get this much, 1 atomic mass unit, 1.6 into 10 power minus 24 grams. So based on this we can calculate the other elements atomic masses, the approximate values. With respect to that, the mass of one hydrogen atom. It is almost actually this is equal to 1.008 atomic mass unit. If you calculate spectroscopical by using some latest spectroscopic techniques, you can identify the mass of one hydrogen atom is 1.008 times of atomic mass units. But for simplification purpose, we can take this as 1 AMU. Instead of taking, if you take 1.008, we may get some complicated. It's very hard to remember these values also. So we can take approximate value 1 AMU. This AMU also called sometimes as a unified mass. Instead of representing 1 AMU, we can represent this as also 1 U. Here U nothing but unified mass. Like this. All these values are experimental values only, calculated through by using the spectroscopic technique. Initially based on the hydrogen, sometimes we calculated, sometimes the carbon 12, and sometimes based on the hydrogen, oxygen they calculated, but latest they are calculating on their own one hydrogen atom. That is almost equals to the one atomic mass unit. Not exactly, but you will get almost close to the one atomic mass unit. You can take. So now we can go with the remaining elements atomic masses. After hydrogen, if you take helium. What is the atomic mass of helium? This should be calculated spectroscopically. You can identify there is 4 times of atomic mass unit. You can see simply 4U, 4 unified mass or 4 AMU. and lithium. And you can observe, I am writing here the approximate values, not very exact value, closer values. We can take 7 atomic mass units. Let me take directly 7. And next beryllium. And you can calculate and you can identify here 8 atomic mass unit. Next boron. So this is 11. Next carbon 12. Nitrogen 14. Oxygen again 16. Actually this is get 15.9 some 9 and something you will get, but we are taking the closer value, rounded it to the 16. And next fluorine 19 atomic mass units, and neon 20, sodium 23, and magnesium 24, aluminum 27, next silicon 20, and next phosphorus and sulfur 32. Next we have chlorine, argon, potassium. And you can see here one change among all elements. If we increase atomic number, mass is keep on increasing, but here argon to potassium mass will decrease, was 1 unit. Again calcium 40. Okay, these are their atomic masses, very closer values, not 100% exact spectrochemical values. We will take for easy purpose the approximate values, but you can mostly 100% cases we can use this for calculation purpose. So these 20 elements atomic masses we should remember. If they ask atomic mass of for example of sulfur in grams, what you have to do? If I ask what is atomic mass of sulfur, in grams, what you have to do? The 32 atomic mass units, this is not in terms of grams, the 32 number is AMU. So 1 AMU equal to 1.6 into 10 power minus 24 grams. This you have to multiply. This is 1.66 something will come. Again I am taking here the closer approximate value. Again this you multiply together, then you will get the atomic mass of sulfur in grams. So this you should not forget. Here everything, the numbers in terms of the atomic mass units only. The 35 argon 40 means it is not 40 grams. Okay, na? And also this we can remember very easily. How it is? Atomic masses. Based on their atomic number we can remember. What is it, Nana? I think last time we discussed already, right? A few of the students are there here. And that is 2 for the atomic number is even or odd number. Let us take Z is atomic number. Generally we will represent the atomic number with Z. And if it is even, then mass number will represent with A equal to 2 into Z atomic number. And if Z is odd, means atomic number is odd, then the mass number 2 into Z plus 1. We have to add one more unit. So there are few exceptions with the hydrogen. You can see the exception. You cannot apply the formula. and for nitrogen you cannot apply the formula, and also for it is chlorine you cannot apply, for argon also you cannot apply. And this beryllium 9 and I wrote 8 here. Here also exception. Generally, whatever the atomic masses we reported there, that is based on the individual atom. For example, if you take hydrogen atomic mass, here mostly will take hydrogen 1 form. Generally, hydrogen exists in the various isotopic forms like protium, deuterium, tritium, hydrogen 1, hydrogen 2, hydrogen 3. But mostly we will take here the hydrogen 1 form, that is 1.008 we observed. And similarly, if we take some oxygen also exists in the 16 and oxygen 17 and oxygen 18 form. Like hydrogen also hydrogen 2, hydrogen 3 forms. And these are the isotopes. And the mass of one hydrogen is different and mass of hydrogen 2. If you take one atom of hydrogen 2, that mass is different, and if you take mass of one hydrogen 3, that mass is different. And similarly, if you take chlorine example, chlorine we have taken 35.5. But actually there is no chlorine atom with 35.5. Actually chlorine exists in two isotopic forms again. Chlorine 35 and chlorine 37. We have the chlorine atoms in 35 and chlorine atom 37. If I ask the atomic mass of one atom of chlorine 35 means that is 35 AMUs. And if I ask what is the chlorine 37 atomic mass means that is 37 AMU. But here none of the value we are taking for atomic mass. We are taking here 35.5. What is this value actually? And the all values reported here, they are average atomic masses, not 35, not 37. It is 35.5 means it is in between value. This is the average of all atoms exist in the nature. Means isotopes of the particular atom. They exist in the nature. That is called average atomic mass. Okay. So about this average atomic mass we will discuss in the next class. How to calculate the average atomic mass when the particular element exists in two or more isotopic forms. Okay, so we will stop the class here itself.